What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. I hope that the lighting is good enough for y'all because that's as good as it's gonna get. But I wanted to get ready and do like a coffee kind of look, and I wanted to get ready, feel beautiful, because I haven't gotten dressed in a really long time. I'm obviously, like, even way before my surgery, I wasn't really glamming up because, to be quite honest, well, I was dealing with the move, and then from the move I was just dealing with life of like prepping for the surgery. So honestly, I wasn't at all interested in getting ready. I just didn't care for it, to be quite honest. So here we are, we're gonna do a glam, and we're gonna talk about my entire breast surgery story. Finally here for you guys. The story is here. So where do I even start? I'm actually using this Freya Skin Science. It's intensive anti-aging serum, and I just put it under my eyes, and I like to put it over here by my smile because I'm very expressive. That's where the wrinkles come in, but also on my forehead. I've been really thinking about getting Botox in my forehead or doing something because I'm really tired of looking crazy. But today we're gonna do a little glamouroo. I did some skin prep already. I wanted to kind of get that part and that side of this video done. So I did do the skin prepping. We're gonna go in with the Fresh. This is the Rose Instant Hydration Mist. I love doing my makeup with some moisture. Like you can't breathe after that. So we are in one of my bathrooms today, but today we're gonna do a glam. We're gonna look cute. We're gonna create some Insta content, some TikToks. I'm gonna start to get ready, and then we'll talk about my surgery. So okay, so we're gonna use the Fenty Beauty. This is the Pro Filter Hydrating Base Primer. So we're gonna go in with this, and I'm gonna use this brush. Let's talk surgery. I feel like I've been talking about it on my channel, on my Insta stories forever. And by the way, for those of you who have reached out to me in my DM, thank you for enjoying my story and enjoying my journey, because I didn't even think about the backlash, to be quite honest, because I am a type of person that I do's what I do's, and I don't think about anybody else in the process. The only person I think about is my Lord and Savior, okay? But anybody else, I really don't care. When I touch my throat, I sound a little crazy. I really don't care what anyone's perception of me is. I really wasn't thinking too much about the backlash. I just didn't want folks to think that I was promoting something on the platform that meant that everyone had to get cosmetic surgery, because that's not the case. I'm not that type of person. I would never want somebody to do something that they genuinely just don't want to do. So my eyebrows are not done, y'all, so they're gonna look a little crazy. All right, y'all, I am back. So my sister actually came here and started looking for something that she left, and she was distracting me. So I was like, you know what, we're gonna reconvene. So we're back. I'm excited. I kind of just like filled in my eyebrows a little bit. We're gonna fix it as we go, but we're fine. So anyway, as you guys know, I had this surgery planned for quite some time. You know, this whole entire time, you guys, like I was saying, I never had the intentions on persuading anybody to do surgery, to get work done. It wasn't my intention. Starting YouTube and starting to use my social media to share the things that I love, whether it be like beauty, fashion, and lifestyle vlogs, and that's what I always wanted to do. And part of that is sharing all of the aspects of my life, not just like the good, the bad, not just the good, but also the bad and the ugly. And I don't care about sharing it. I'm like, this is my journey, it's part of me. So I didn't even think about not sharing it, to be honest. I was just so upset that I didn't have any videos from my first surgery that I could not wait to film this series for y'all. But it just so happened that so many people reached out to me privately through DM, like, oh my god, like, thank you so much for sharing your story, because I also got work done. And I just would, and then people were asking me questions like about my journey and this and that, and you know, like what made me share my story. And so I'm using the James Charles palette, guys. This is Bust Down. so don't judge me. But we're gonna go in with like a lighter color just to kind of get like the base going. I usually go in with a lighter color. And we're just gonna make it work here. So we're gonna blend that in. So I'm super excited to have shared this journey with you guys and to have this footage and video, because it does mean a lot to me. Throughout the entire time though, I have been talking about removing my implants, going back to natural. That's what I decided to like name the series. And I also expressed a tremendous amount of anxiety that I was having about going back to natural, because I expressed how scared I was to determine what kind of breasts I would be left with afterwards, because it's been 7 years since I got in my first surgery, and originally I got a reduction, but I put implants in because I really wanted to have the cleavage. I wanted to have the boob look that I absolutely desired. I went in with this like light shade. Now I'm gonna find like a neutral brown tonish to start creating this like coffee cute look, this like toffee nut look. I think that's what I'm gonna call it, a toffee nut. This little brown here that basically I have nothing left, but we're gonna start. So overall, I was really afraid to like figure out what I was gonna look like, natural boobs would look like. And I have my reasons for certainly wanting to keep myself natural and like not wanting to have implants. I've expressed it. You guys can go watch my previous videos. All those things are still really valid. But before I ended up finding out that I had one breast encapsulated, I was literally just gonna swap them out from saline to silicone and get another reduction and get them small. Like that was a part of the plan, always. But because I started to find out that I had issues with one breast and things were just not doing well, I got a little nervous and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go back to natural. Maybe this is a sign from the heavens above that is like, girl, stop, enough is enough. So that's what ended up happening. I started this series and I was going back to natural. Well, don't hate me, but things changed. I went to the surgeon and I got to meet with Dr. Lagrasso. If you guys don't know, I went to my cosmetic surgery. Dr. Lagrasso is an amazing, incredible surgeon who everyone seems to love, go for, and look for. And I went to have a consultation with him and he pretty much looked at me and said, well, it's actually not as bad as you made it seem. And you know, it may feel that way, or maybe because you're unfamiliar with how these things actually work, but he said when it comes to encapsulations or any kind of issue like this, we usually scale them from 1 to whatever, and yours is a 2. And I was like, a 2? The good thing is that I did get the mass removed. Anyway, what ended up happening is that he was really telling me like, ultimately, like, look, you're having this issue 7 years after having your surgery. It's different if it was like 1 month after or a few months early into your surgery, because it's like, okay, maybe your body's rejecting it. But it's kind of difficult to tell that in this moment right now, because it's been so long that maybe your body is just like, hey, time to get this thing out, right? So trust me, we're gonna get somewhere. I know it's looking a little lighter than coffee, but we're gonna blend some colors in, and it's looking a little messy, but we're gonna fix it up. We gonna fix it up, we gonna switch it up. I was freaking out, y'all, because at this point, I went in there with the intentions on literally making this moment back to natural. He said that it's not guaranteed that it'll happen again. Sometimes it happens the first time and then never happens again. Sometimes it does happen again and it's just like, it keeps happening. So he was like, because this is the first time that it's happened, I really don't recommend, or I wouldn't shy away from replacing the implant and just putting another one in. He was like, but like, what do you want? Like, tell me the type of breast that you're looking for, and then I will tell you based on what you're asking me, or what's the best route to go in. God, I look like I got beat up. So that's what I did. I ended up telling him ideally like what kind of breast I'm looking to go for. He ended up pretty much telling me, well, you know that you've had these implants in for such a long time that I just want to set the expectation and be really real with you that you're looking for cleavage, you're looking for a lift, and oh yes, of course I can do the lift and give you a certain type of look, but it's not going to look as much as you want it to look, because your natural breasts are your natural breasts. At this point, I'm like, oh my god, okay, so. And honestly, I was afraid of what they were gonna look like. So I started to freak out and I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I had this plan and now I'm like confused. And he's like, look, you could think about it, get back to me, let me know, and we'll take it from there. After I met with the surgeon, I ended up speaking to my coordinator, my surgery coordinator, and she's been amazing. She's understands what I'm looking for, what I'm looking to do, and she also told me that he would most likely give me that advice but I wanted to wait. And so then when I met with him, she reiterated everything and she's like, look, I think we should swap them. He recommends that you swap them from saline to silicone. They'll give you a different look. We'll reduce the implants, give you a lift, and take it from there. If it happens again, then we know that we need to give you another solution, and that's it. So I was like, you know what, fine. And that's what I ended up doing. Honestly, you guys, I really wanted this to work. Like, I wanted to go natural, but I was afraid that I wasn't gonna have a look that I genuinely wanted. I wanted to wear bikinis. I wanted to wear, you know, tube tops and shirts that I've never been able to wear because I'm so busty. And then in addition to that though, I just like couldn't seem to figure out how to get myself into this point where, like, is it gonna look okay? Am I gonna just deflate like a balloon? And that narrative in my head, that was freaking me out. So I just realized, like, you know what, I'd rather just play it safe right now and just go and get the surgery, replace the implants, and then take it from there. And if it so happens that my body is getting sick again, or I'm noticing some changes in my body, I'm willing to take that one last chance and see how my body responds. I know some people wouldn't do that, and some people may think like I'm crazy and why would I go for that, but honestly, it's a decision that I really thought of and I sat on, and I've been thinking about it the entire time. And it just felt like this was the right decision to make. I ended up swapping them out, and the day of surgery I actually had paid for a lipo. I was gonna do lipo in my arms and in my armpit fat, because I've expressed numerous times that I've always been really self-conscious of my armpit fat. I've always been really insecure about my arms and not looking the way that I want them to look. Of course, some people are gonna say work out, work out, work out. But look, everybody has their own solutions to the things and the problems that they have going on. So if I could do lipo, I'm gonna do liposuction, and don't judge me. But in this case, I punked out, y'all. The day of the surgery, I ended up punking out, and I didn't want to do it because I kept thinking about my recovery. I was like, the last time you were in recovery, you were torn up, and it took a really long time for me to go back to work. And in this case, I have so many commitments, clients to attend to, and just like a shit ton of responsibilities that I was like, I don't have it in me to like literally not work. And I was just thinking about the recovery process, to be quite honest. Like, how can I manage this recovery process to the best of my ability with the liposuction? And then I'm also thinking about, do I have to get massages? That's an additional cost. I was like, you know what, right now I don't really want to concern myself with doing liposuction at the same time of trying to heal and get myself back to work. Like, it's just too much going on at the same time. Remember, leading up to the surgery, originally they called me in and they said that I would have my surgery at 12 o'clock, and I was like, oh my god, that's so freaking late. I'm using the Bobbi Brown just to start to contour and use it as a concealer, but I was like, oh my god, 12 o'clock is so freaking late. Like, are you kidding me? But then they called me and was like, okay, change of plan, we're gonna do you early. It's gonna be at 10 a.m. so be here. And I was like, okay. So I got there early as hell. I think like my parents and I got there like 9:30 or 9, yeah, like 9:30. We were there sitting there all the way until 11:45. And before you go into surgery, you're just sitting in the waiting room and you have to wait to do your drug test. They do drug test you to make sure that you are prepared for the surgery. You have to sign a ton of documents just to like give them permission to operate, and you know, the risks and all that. So basically I was there sitting there. Well, I did that the day, like that Monday, so I did it 2 days before, but you do have to sign a paperwork regarding the drug test, because if your drug test, if you fail, then your whole surgery is canceled and you're like charged a fee. So, you know, don't participate in extracurricular activities. Then it was my turn at 11:45. The lady came, the nurse came, and she was like, hey, we were ready. So I gave my mom a hug. I went inside. At this point, you guys, I was ready to go. I was starving to death because the day before I had to stop eating at 9 o'clock, and I had a really big meal, as you guys saw in my vlog. It was like big, delicious, yum, and it was good, but it really is no joke. So I was so hungry, and at this point at 12 o'clock my head was hurting, and I was like getting a little concerned because I'm like, am I not feeling good? Like, should I speak up, or is it that I'm just starving to death, I'm freaking famished and I need some damn water? And that's what it was, you know, because I was like monitoring like how I really felt, and I was like, Tiff, like, should you speak up? Like, God forbid. But then when they called me in, the nurse was like, hey, look, so I need you to put this gown on. I'm gonna come back in here, we're gonna take some photos. And she was like, pretty much get naked, put this medical gown on, and she put the net on my hair. My mom did the pigtails, as you guys seen. So at this point, it's getting real, y'all. It's getting real. It's happening. So she goes over, they always ask you your date of birth, you know, your name, blah, 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 just to make sure that they have the right patient. I do have to say though, I really love the professionalism and how there's so many women working there, from las enfermeras to the receptionist. Like, there's just so much feminine energy in there, and it just makes you feel so good, so confident. There's like, you know, there's no judgment. Everybody going there is getting work done. So like, you feel so good, so inclusive. Everybody's just super kind and loving, and my mom was getting along with everybody. I was a little upset because I decided to change my mind, but I think having people there to connect with made her feel way better. Up in my mom's times, nobody got their body done, so she's probably just like, why are you doing this to yourself? So anyway, I ended up completely naked, like panties off too. So I'm like, all right, my cootie cat's about to finna be out. And then she tells me, completely naked, I'm gonna take a picture of you. So they do like a before and after. I get naked, and then she's like, okay, the anesthesiologist and the doctor will be in here. They're gonna, the doctor's gonna come in here and mark you up, and then we'll go from there. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm in this room, but I was just in there watching a movie, just kind of like killing time. And then the anesthesiologist came in first. He was actually super cool, like a really down-to-earth guy. He like came in like, hey, what's up, how's it going? He introduced himself. So sorry, I forgot his name, but he was really dope, like a really cool guy. He was like, yeah, my name is so-and-so, you know, I'll be the anesthesiologist, I'll be taking care of you. And I was like, well, he was like, you have any questions for me? I'm like, no questions, just, you know, thank you for your professionalism, for all it is that you do. You know, I hope, you know, God is with you and with us. And I was like, I trust you. I'm putting my life in your hands. And he's like, yeah, don't worry about it. I've been doing it for a really long time. The only thing I did tell him was that, you know, that I had surgery previously, and he asked me like, okay, what did I get? What do I have? What am I doing now? This surgery. He also asked me like my date of birth again and again and again. You know, a lot of people do up until even when you're on the operating table. But anyway, back to my story. So pretty much at this point, he's like going over everything. The only thing I did tell him was like, hey, by the way, you know, the last time I got surgery, I woke up so fucking nauseous. And he was like, oh, okay. He was like, yeah, well, don't worry about it. Just because it happens the first time doesn't mean that it's gonna happen the second time. You know, it could be different, but you know, I'll give you some Zofran, whatever. Like, he totally had my back. He's like, I got you, you're good, we're gonna take care of you, it's general anesthesia, so you'll be fine. He's like, you're gonna feel like you blinked and you're up and the surgery's over. And I was like, okay. So he hooked me up to the IV, and he was like, all right, the doctor's gonna come in here, he will pretty much mark you up, and then we'll all see you downstairs. And I'm like, okay, all right. So then a little bit after, literally like 2 minutes after, the surgeon comes in, Dr. Lagrasso comes in. He's like, okay, let's see what we got. So I show him my boobs, and he starts to mark me up, uses like the ruler. He's like real serious, like, this is what we're doing, we're going in here. So boom, they take their before and after pictures. He's marking me up, and he's like, so you're ready to go big? We're going 800? I was like, and then he like looked, waited for my reaction, because I was like, no, small, please. And then I also just asked him a couple questions like, look, I noticed that I had a lot more scarring my first time. You know, is there something that we could do to like prevent these scars? And he was like, yeah, I got you. Like, you know, after a couple of weeks, I'll let you know what you can start taking. I just told him to please make my nipples smaller, because I have TMI, but I have huge areolas. I had, and I was just like, can we like make them smaller? He was like, all right, sounds good, yeah. So marks me up, and after that, he's like, okay, I'll see you in the operating room. And I was like, all right, this is happening. I'm like, it's happening. And then like 5 minutes later, a enfermera comes in. He's like, hi, Tiffany, we're gonna head down. I'm like, okay. She just brought me to like, she swiped her card and brought me to like the back of the room, and I go into this door. We go in there, and then I see my surgeon, and he's eating a sandwich, and I'm like, bro, like, how does someone just, how is he eating a sandwich right now? I was like, okay. Like, he's like, how you feeling? Feeling good? All right. we're gonna go big. And he's like just teasing me because he knows that I want the itty bitties. So he was just teasing me. He's a really nice guy. And then I go in, the anesthesiologist is in the operating room, and then the lady's just telling me how to lay down with my bata like open from the back, because obviously I'm sure they're gonna take it off, whatever. And at this point, you guys, it's starting to like set in. And the first time, the anesthesiologist put it in my vein. So I was talking about it the whole time during this like vlog journey, that I really did not want like that burning sensation in my freaking veins, because it felt like I was going straight to hell. It just was like a really uncomfortable feeling, and I didn't like that feeling. I didn't want to feel like I was going straight to hell. So I was like, bro, I was preparing myself for that. But the anesthesiologist got in there, and he's like, yeah, I know you're hungry, you're gonna eat soon, you're gonna get up, like distracting me. And then I'm on this table, and that's it. That was it. I was like, okay, well, I guess it's gonna happen. At that point, I started to get a little scared, but it wasn't like too much anxiety. Like I was trying to control my you know, my anxiety, like my freaking blood pressure. I was trying to control myself because I was afraid, you know, but it wasn't as bad. I'm gonna use this lip liner. Ugh, well, that's not gonna work. I'm gonna have to just use the Brow Wiz. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Now let me just fix up my brows a little bit, a little teeny bit. All right, you guys, so then I remember that he gave me this mask. He's like, hey, here, breathe into this. He's like, I don't know, like he's a smart guy. He's a very smart guy. Because I was freaking out, y'all. But I was starting to be nervous. I'm not gonna lie, I was starting to get a lot nervous. I'm like, okay, great. They're gonna knock me out in this like vapor shit. Whatever they could put in here, they're gonna knock my ass out. So I was like, okay, breathe it in. And it really covers your whole face. So you know, he's like, I need you to take deep breaths, all right? And I was like, okay. So I started off taking deep breaths, and at that point I got a little nervous. I remember my anxiety was starting to go up, but I was like, Tiff, you're fine, the Lord is on your side. And then I remember I started to take a little bit like less breaths, and he was like, hey, like I need you to take deeper breaths, fill it up, fill up your lungs. So I was like, okay. And that was the last thing that I remember. He was like, fill up your lungs, and I was like, and then boom, I woke up in the recovery room. Like, what? How do they freaking do that? Like, that is so freaking scary. So I feel like anesthesiologists, y'all, anybody watching this as an anesthesiologist, I am so grateful for you. Thank you for what you do, because you have to, like, your job is such an important role in this industry that is like, oh my god, the fact that you get knocked out and it feels like you freaking blinked an eye, like what the hell? I woke up in the recovery room and I was like, what the fuck happened? Like, I didn't feel nothing in my body. I didn't feel the burning sensation like I did the first time. Nope, none of that. It just simply, like, he told me to take another breath, and I took another breath, and I was out. And I woke up in the recovery room, and the only reason why I woke up was because the girl who also had surgery that day, the woman who had surgery, she was like screaming, like, oh my god, like, ow, I. She was like in so much pain. I felt so bad because she got like her whole body done, and yo, my girl was screaming. And I heard like the nurses like, mommy, you're okay, you're fine, what you're feeling is normal, you just got out of surgery, da 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 da, like trying to calm her down. And then I finally opened up my eyes, and it was like blurry at this point. It was very, very blurry, but I remember opening up my eyes, and they were like they started attending to me, you know, they're like doing all these things, and I'm like, ow, my leg's falling asleep. Sorry, my leg was falling asleep. But I wake up and they're like attending to me, they're doing all these different things to me, just kind of like putting me in position. I remember saying, like, I remember when I woke up, I was like, Tiff, you're fine, you're in the recovery room. I was like coping like working myself through this, because honestly, you guys, when I had surgery the first time, I started freaking out. Like, I was freaking out. I was like crying for my mom. I was in mad pain, and it was just so miserable for me. Oh, that's what happened. I threw up. I was like, I gotta throw up. So I still woke up, I still threw up, and I remember they gave me a bag, and I threw up, and that shit hurt. You guys, it hurts so bad because you just had surgery, and like, hacer esa fuerza to make that force is like no joke. Like, you don't think about it, but yo, that's hard. It's hard stuff. Like, it's no joke. So I was like actually stressing and going through it because, you know, I'm throwing up there, and that's all I remember. I threw up in a bag, the bag that they gave me, and then after that I like knocked out. They put my ass out. I don't know if they gave me like, you know how they give you alcohol to sniff on, I don't know. They did that the first time because I just wouldn't stop throwing up, but this time I knocked back out. I threw up, fell asleep, and then I remember waking up a little while later. And then when I woke up, I was like, I gotta pee, and I'm saying this in Spanish, right? Because, you know, obviously I'm sure they speak English there, but I'm just used to speaking Spanish there because, you know, I can communicate. But I was just like, I gotta pee. So I'm telling the lady like I have to pee, and she's like, mommy, like pee because, you know, you have something there. I'm like, okay. I'm thinking I got a diaper on, but I'm trying to pee, y'all, and the pee is not coming out. Like, I'm like telling myself in my head like, Tiff, pee, like you can pee, but I couldn't. It felt like I was like I couldn't actually pee. So I was like, bro, what is happening to me? So anyway, I knocked back out. I'm like, well, back I go, fall back asleep. Then I finally wake up and I'm up. I'm like, okay, you're up now. Like, can you get up? Can you open up your eyes? Are you gonna throw up? How do you feel? I'm like talking to myself in my head. And then I felt good. I was like, all right, like I can actually get up now. Let me clean my hands because so when I started to really open up my eyes, they're like, okay, she's conscious now, like she can get up. I think they realized too. So what they did is I have my eyeliner is so dirty because of my freaking makeup bag. So sorry. To this beautiful designed Rare Beauty. This is like one of my favorite eyeliners right now, I've gotta say. I'm loving it. So sad it's so dirty though. I'm so sad. When I officially got up, they're like, all right, mommy, take a deep breath. And I'm like, my whole legs all spread open, my titties are out, I'm like butt naked on there. Yeah, she basically stuck her hand by my cootie cat and pulled something out, and then I realized that it was a bag and I felt it come out. She's like, take a deep breath. I took a deep breath, boom, she took it all out, and it was like a bag that they put so that you can pee in. And funny enough, I actually have seen one of these before because when my sister was giving birth to my nephew, I was like in the room and I was young as hell. I was like 13, 14 years old watching this happen, and they stuck that thing in her and she screamed. She was like, ah! So I remember that happened. I'm like, oh my god, they put that in there. So I was like, oh, that's how I pee. I'll just leave it like that for now because I have to come a little closer. You know what? Let me do my eyeliner real quick. Alright guys, so we're almost done. I messed up my eyeliner. Of course, I knew that would happen, but it's okay. We're gonna go in one more time with this lighter color just to kind of patch up any nonsense that I left over here. But yeah, you guys, at this point, I woke up and I immediately noticed the difference between my first surgery and this one. I felt way less pressure. I think because when it's your first time, you're obviously going through like the motions of like having a surgery that you've never had before. Something foreign is going into your body, and I just feel like the first time was excruciating. It felt so freaking uncomfortable. It felt really bad and hurtful. The only thing that hurt was the boob that gave me the trouble, which was the right boob. I noticed like a significant less pain in my left boob versus the right boob just felt like more pain. And then at that point, I heard them calling my mom, letting her know that I was awake and that they can come and get me. My mom made me wait an hour, and I was so pissed off. Like, she did that the first time and she did it the second time. And I told her, I'm like, be nearby, like be prepared, and if it's closer to 4 or 5 o'clock and you haven't gotten a call, be aware because I should be ready soon. And of course, you know. So anyway, I waited an hour, then my mom came and picked me up, and I'll show you guys the footage.
Tiffany, demasiado tráfico. Toma. Ay, me duele mucho. El Señor bendito. No, okay. Okay, gracias, mi amor.
So that was the footage of me. I looked completely insane, and as you heard, like, I'm like yelling at my mom, like, you took too long, and she was like mad at me because I'm like complaining. But they picked me up. I could barely walk at this point, and my parents helped me get in the car, and they walked my mom through, you know, the next couple of steps, just letting her know like I had to go get my antibiotics and this and that. I was in a lot of pain. I was also really nauseous. So for that night, I was tore up. Like, it wasn't as bad, but it was bad. Like, I do notice the big difference. And by the way, I've been meaning to show you guys, I got my old implants. So they let me take my saline implants home. The enfermera was like, oh, I have these, do you want them? I was like, yeah. So they took them out of my body and then they gave them to me, and I was like, yeah, I mean, I paid for them. So I actually have these because I put them in my fridge or in my freezer, and I use them as ice pack, and they really do help. So I kept them. The first night was tough because, you see, I have gastritis. I also am like super cautious of like the type of pills that I'm taking, and I've never ever liked any kind of pharmaceutical anything. I'm just like super against it. I don't like any kind of pills. I don't take anything. So I will literally wing it. I will wing it until I can't wing it anymore, and I don't take any pills for any kind of reason. With that being said, I sort of ran into a situation where I was like taking the codeine that I was told to take, but unfortunately my body couldn't handle it. So I was just tore up, and I was throwing up so much, and I couldn't keep anything down, which was unfortunate because I was so hungry. My mom brought me this soup. The soup was disgusting because it had no like flavor in it. So I like told her, I was like, I don't want that. So then I went home. When we went home, my mom made me the soup like way better. She put some more seasoning. I guess she was trying to be a little like, you know, she was like trying to look out for me, like not give me so much seasoning, but I'm like, girl, you need to, I'm Latina. So anyway, we go through the night. My parents had to keep waking up to get me up. I had to pee so much. I don't know like if that's a thing, but I had to pee a lot. So yeah, that was like my first night. Was pretty hard, pretty tough. And then the next day they have you go in to see la enfermera, which is the nurse, and you go into the facility. They have a lot of facilities all in like one spot. So I went in to one of the offices that they had there, which is like where you go after you have surgery, and the next day you see the enfermera, and then after that she just changed my pads that I had, and then, oh, actually I think that's them. Hello.
Buenas tardes, señora Tiffany.
Sí, hola, ¿cómo está?
Bien, le estamos marcando de acá del departamento de servicio al cliente, interesándonos en la evolución de su cirugía, señora Tiffany. ¿Cómo se encuentra en el día de hoy?
Yo me siento muy bien, fíjate.
¿Se siente bien?
Sí, me siento bien. Yo no, ningún complaint. Solo me está picando un poco. Yo creo que como los stitches se están como curando.
¿Picando las heridas?
Me pica un poco, you know, donde, you know, pero yo creo que eso porque se está curando, ¿no?
Claro, ¿usted asistió a su chequeo con las enfermeras?
Sí, yo hablé con Miriam ayer y ella me dijo que bueno, que, you know, eso es normal y bueno, que solo me tengo que dejar ahí porque no se puede poner nada.
Claro, correcto. Pero, ¿y te mantienes con los 6 colocados todavía por fuera de las incisiones, señora Tiffany?
¿Cómo así?
Los 6citos. Tienes como unos pequeños 6 colocados por fuera de las incisiones. ¿Ya te los retiraste?
No, ellos me dijeron que en una semana, pero en una semana va a ser mañana.
Ok, entonces mañana tú pasas con las enfermeras.
Yo no voy a pasar porque yo ya volví para New Jersey.
Te regresaste a New Jersey. Ok, entonces a ese mismo número que se comunicó usted en el día de ayer con la doctora Miriam, te vas a tomar fotitos de los senos, señora Tiffany.
Okay.
Y le vas a mandar fotos a la doctora Miriam para que ella te oriente cómo debes retirar los 6citos que tienes colocados por fuera de las heridas.
Ok, está bien.
Que eso se retira a los 7 días cuando ustedes vienen al chequeo con enfermería.
Ajá, so los 7 días van a ser mañana. So después, mañana yo le mando fotos y ella me va a decir cómo lo hago entonces.
Ok, ¿y cuándo te regresaste a New Jersey?
Yo me regresé el lunes.
Ok, entonces igual las medias linfáticas se retiran también a los 7 días. Entonces ya mañana las puedes retirar, señora Tiffany.
¿Cuál son esos?
Las medias que tienes.
Oh, ok, perfecto, sí, ok, perfecto.
Ok, porque como tenías que asistir al chequeo con las enfermeras, el día lunes te regresaste, entonces ya mañana las retiras.
Ok, perfecto, muchas gracias. Okay.
No, por nada, usted. Igual nosotros seguiremos al pendiente suyo. Cualquier orientación, señora Tiffany, que necesites, estamos también a su disposición para asistirle. ¿Está bien?
Ok, gracias por la llamada.
No, por nada, usted. Bonita tarde y que continúe recuperándose.
Gracias, hablamos pronto. Bye bye. Look at that. They just called me to check on me. That's what I love about them. They're so, like, just awesome. They're on it. They've been checking up on me numerous times. And yeah, I just couldn't recommend them more. They're really awesome. But you guys, I need to hurry up. My recovery has been very different from the first time around. I am going to make a separate video about like how much I spent, you know, my entire process, you know, just giving you guys more insight, because this video would be way too long if I decided to do it in this one. So I'm not gonna do it, but I just wanted to give you guys an update on like my surgery story. And let's blend that bad boy in. Super cute. Oh my god, I love it. I think that's the finished look. My hair is looking crazy, but I better hurry up before my camera dies. The first 48 hours were really tough. I couldn't lift my arms. I really couldn't do much. But we ended up leaving just 3-4 days after my surgery. We drove back to New Jersey. The ride was very uncomfortable, not gonna lie. But lately, so far, the only thing that I'm feeling is just like super itchy around where the stitches are, which means that they're just healing, so I'm getting better. So I'm super happy about the outcome. I love the way my breasts look. They look so beautiful. They look so beautiful. I have to be in a bra for like the next couple of months, which is fine, but it is uncomfortable. Sometimes I wish I could just go, but I'm just in this bra and I have the pads in there, and then I have tape. As you guys heard the nurse say, I do have to take the tape out tomorrow, so I'm gonna take a picture, send it to the nurse, and she's going to tell me how to do this. But I did do it the first time, so you know, we'll work it. I will keep you guys posted on how I'm recovering. I just want to thank you guys so much for being a part of this journey, for not judging me, because I haven't seen any negative comments. So if you've been keeping them to yourself, thank you. It's so much better. But I just am always going to be true to myself and be super authentic and real and share things that make me really, really happy. But also, you know, I thought I was going back to natural, but you know what? We're gonna try this out. As you guys can see, this one's way more swollen than this one, and it's because this is the one that was encapsulated, so it's gonna take a while. If I can say, I feel really good. I'm still taking my antibiotics, no more of the codeine, because that was like killing you, girl. I'm still sitting upright when I sleep. I can't actually lay down. You're supposed to just sit upright. So sleeping is getting better. It's uncomfortable because your butt hurts after a while, but you gotta do what you gotta do. And I am gonna work really hard on my arm to do like calisthenics and do light stuff. Remember that my hand is messed up, which is the reason why I can't even like work out to the best of my ability. I can't actually do weights because my hand is messed up from hurting myself in my old apartment. So I'm gonna do the best that I possibly can to get myself in shape. And if later down the road it just doesn't work, I am gonna go back and get my arms done, but I'm gonna make sure that I have more than enough time to do it so that I can do it with patience, knowing that I can take 2-3 months off of work. But I think because of the move, spending so much money on moving, spending so much money on the surgery, I just like couldn't take so much time off of work. I'm just like not in that position. I was like, nah, your girl has got to go back to work. So I am back. I'm feeling really good. If you guys are thinking about cosmetic surgery, I couldn't recommend my cosmetic surgery more. They are, don't even know how to put it into words, but they are absolutely amazing. From the moment that you call in, just keeping you posted on this entire journey, what to expect, you know, your responsibilities, their responsibility, and they are just on it. They're just amazing. And the surgeon, Dr. Lagrasso, is amazing. He has been just the go-to doctor. There's amazing surgeons there too, but I have had amazing experience with Dr. Lagrasso. I love that he has just a level of professionalism and he knows what he's doing, and he's done this so many times that he's like, look, if I could do it, I'm gonna say I could do it, and if I can't do it, I'm gonna tell you, you shouldn't do it, you know? So I really just appreciate his expertise. Thank you so much, My Cosmetic Surgery, for giving me my new boobs. And I love them. They look so beautiful. They're smaller. They're the perfect size. He truly understood what I was looking for. I'm not gonna lie, I feel a little sad that I don't have my Kim K arms, but it's okay. I'm gonna work really hard on doing some calisthenics and just some things that I could do that's not requiring too much weight, and I will try my best. You know what, if in 8 months it doesn't work, then I'm coming back and we're gonna get these arms done. That is all for today's video. Thank you so much for listening to my breast reduction story and my journey. I'm super excited to share more with you. I can't wait to keep you posted on how I'm feeling, my post-op, and how how I'm taking care of my breast until then. So thank you so much. Remember to be kind to those out there because you just never know. But that is all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in with me and just allowing me to share my story with you. If you guys are interested in getting a consultation at My Cosmetic Surgery, I'm going to put all of their information down below in the description for you. Give them a call, get some information. They're amazing. They will guide you through the process. They will answer any questions. So I couldn't be more happy with the turnout, and as I continue to heal, I will keep you updated. So you guys can go and check out my TikTok as well, because I'm always putting up some content on TikTok. Thank you so much to my YouTube fam, my fam bam, who's just been so supportive of me. So happy, love you guys, and I can't wait to come up with so much more fun, engaging, and just like entertaining content for you guys. If there's something that you guys want to know or you want to ask me questions, I was thinking about doing another Q&A, so maybe you could drop your questions down below. Or if you guys have some YouTube video suggestions, definitely comment down below, let me know. But I will see you guys in the next vlog.